Now we're going to keep talking about the same subject since we're on the subject. Just going to keep going. So, about guilt. So, before 9/11, this whole thing with Liz happened. So at that point, the American flag meant exactly that, satanic murder, kidnap, rape, sleep rape, mind control stuff in your head. I didn't really have a rosy picture of the country I was born in or lived in 2001. But anyways, that year, I mean, the Iraq War, where they tried to make torture okay, so they would confess. Maybe if you torture these guys, they would confess to doing something that Israel did. Dual citizens like Chertoff did, and his group, Silverstein, Wolfowitz. Maybe if you torture these people from Iraq, you can torture a confession out of them. Maybe you can torture them until they confess to doing something they didn't do. So this goes along the same lines of Liz, me, whoever, kind of being, she was killed for something she didn't do, kidnapped for something she didn't do. After that happened, these actually people with demons in them, they started coming around my dad, who's a minister, preacher. They started coming around closer to the family. Literally, so, yeah, you come closer, come a little closer. I'd like to blow some of these people's heads off. I would like to exterminate everybody involved with, that what happened to Liz. But yeah, so back along those lines of guilt, Iraq was a lot of people died in Iraq was fucked up for something that they didn't do. They had nothing to do with it. Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia had nothing to do with it either. It was Israel. Or if you want to blame an ethnic group or a religious group, that's the one. Since we're all about, free speech, right? Trump is about free speech. That's why he signed stuff saying you can't talk bad about a certain racial or ethnic group. You can't talk bad about certain racial or ethnic group in America, even though we have free speech. So that's the group that you can't talk bad about. The one that bombed the fuck out of the USS Liberty. It didn't sink, and those men told their stories. Maybe 20 years later, they told their stories. They told their fucking stories. But yeah, so if you paid me $1 million or $1 billion, what's the lotto is that right now? Like $1 billion. And say, hey, I want you to make sure protect police or protect the people on the roadways. I'd say I can't fucking do it. Or if you kidnapped Elizabeth and you held her ransom, look, here we have her. If something bad happens to a cop or motorcycle cop or somebody in an accident, we're gonna kill her. And I'd be like, well, there's nothing I can fucking do. I don't negotiate with terrorists. And I can't do anything. I can't control other people's actions. What I can do is try to go after the people who kidnapped and murdered Elizabeth, because that's actually something that did happen, and that's what really something can be done about that. What can't be done is me preventing fucking road accidents. I can't do that. Okay, you could pay me pay me the fuck. First of all, I'm not getting paid to do that. But if I was getting paid to do that, I couldn't do that. Okay. So and I wouldn't know how to claim guilt even if I thought I was guilty. I wouldn't know how to go about claiming guilt. Or if I thought I twitched my nose and I caused this to happen, or I had bad thoughts. So there's zero connection between Elizabeth, me, motorcycle cops, except for her kidnapping and murder. There's that connection. Other than that, there's no connection. Okay? But yeah, so along those lines, though, of Iraq, the people of Iraq being blamed for something that a different ethnic or racial group did. So yeah, the people of Iraq is not they are not guilty for the controlled demolition of the Twin Towers. They are not guilty for the Patriot Act, which the dual citizen Chertoff, he was the first head, and now Chertoff is going to, he's the head of the free speech in America, Ministry of Truth, or what is it? Well, you don't need a Ministry of Truth as long as you sign laws that say you can't talk bad about a racial or this racial or ethnic group, which that's the one Chertoff is in. Sure, he's an upstanding person. I mean, at home and at work and business, I'm sure, all around. So the people of Iraq had nothing, zero, to do with 9/11. Nothing. Yet their country was invaded. They were killed. They were tortured. They were literally kidnapped, kind of like Elizabeth was. But maybe they left out some of the satanic stuff that they did to Liz here in California, in San Bernardino or Big Bear, wherever that was, that they did that to her. But yeah, they wanted everybody to accept torture. Hey, we got to torture these guys because they did 9/11. Well, no, they didn't. And if you torture somebody enough, they'll confess to anything, just to get you to stop. You better confess. We're gonna waterboard you. Oh, I did it. So I'm facing this kind of demon, this guilt demon. I don't know what it is, I have started looking into the whole demon thing more recently. I'm not diving in too deep. Just kind of getting my feet wet a little bit. But yeah, why am I talking about that? Oh yeah, so what am I facing? So it's not me that's crazy, basically, because I didn't kidnap anybody. I didn't kidnap and murder somebody. You did. The state of California, you did that. I didn't blow up, the Twin Towers and blame Iraq. Israel did that, or Jewish people, whatever you want to call it. But not Muslims. So Muslims were blamed, but Muslims didn't do it. So I just I mean, those were along the same lines. That's why I'm bringing up 9/11, because it's kind of, it is along the same lines of somebody being accused and punished for something they didn't do, right? There's no proof. They were attacked. There was no weapons of mass destruction. It's all bullshit. But that didn't matter. The truth really didn't matter. You know, they say the truth is the first victim or casualty in most wars or whatever. But yeah, that never happened. That Iraq had anything. The people of Iraq or the country, whatever, it didn't have anything. They didn't have anything to do with it. Somebody else did. Another ethnic group. The same ethnic group that tried to sink the USS Liberty, that has countless, a long track record of crime, shenanigans. They just never stop, ever, seems like. So if we're going to start pointing fingers, let's do that then. I mean, you can't just point, you know, when you point one, you got three pointed back at you. So, I mean, if we're going to just, let's place blame. And now we could try to point out, hey, it's a demon or it's a devil did it, you know. But, well, hey, the devil made me do it. Yeah, I did it, but it wasn't my fault. Somebody else, it was their fault. They made me do it. So yeah, just rattling that off my chest real quick. That's all. I'm not trying to get bogged down here in the mud of this stuff. But yeah, I'm not into the whole blood adrenochrome. I don't like people who do that. I would want them to cease that. I mean, they try to glamorize the blood sucking and that type of behavior, but it's really not glamorous. I know Hollywood likes to glamorize it as much as possible because it's who they are, right? It's what they do and who they are. So of course they're going to try to paint themselves in a good light, you know. But just wanted to bring that up about, you know, guilt and fault, finding fault. I'm sure there's another aspect to me personally that I could personally, but it's not me who's insane, really. I'm not, insane. It is. Now, if I kidnapped somebody, I'm not a criminally insane person. With the means or the will, I don't have a desire to kidnap somebody and murder them. I don't have the means or the desire to do that. But the state of California did, right? I would say they are a lunatic. I'm not saying I'm always perfect or I've never in my life been wrong about something. But, hey, and that's really a low bar, right? Hey, well, I'm not a murderer. I didn't kidnap somebody and eat their flesh. So I'm all good. Well, no, I could still be a bad person, and I'm not saying that's any kind of bar to set for anybody. Hey, well, at least I'm not that, but I am not that. Okay?